One Piece. I can transform into Marvel. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1. O'Hara. In front of him was the blue sea, peaceful and remote, and above his head was the azure sky, deep and magnificent. Here the sea and the sky were one color, and there was no end in sight. The sea breeze passed through the left and right sides of his body, slightly lifting the black hair that hung on his cheeks. His long hair was like black ink, naturally draped over his back. He had a pair of piercing obsidian eyes, his eyeballs were crystal clear, and when you stared at him, it was like looking at the most silent lake in the world, which made people feel relaxed and happy. He closed his eyes slightly, enjoying the caress of the sea breeze and the faint smell of sea salt, but after a while, his brows were slightly wrinkled. He knew that this peaceful and comfortable life was only short-lived, and would soon be broken. His name was Lingfan, and he was not from this world. It took him a month to adapt to his new identity as much as possible, the son of a historian, and the island he was on was O'Hara. This was actually an inconspicuous island, but it had the world's largest library, the Tree of All-Knowing, and gathered the world's best archaeologists and first-class archaeological teams. Yes, Lingfan traveled to the world of One Piece, and O'Hara is the famous archaeological holy land in the West Sea, and it is also the hometown of Nico Robin. As a fan of One Piece animation in his previous life, Lingfan naturally knew that the demise of O'Hara was already in the countdown time, because just 3 days ago, a giant had drifted to the coast. Lingfan, guess who I am? Just as Lingfan was thinking about the upcoming headache in the future, a pair of cold and tender little hands covered Lingfan's eyes, and Lingfan could still smell the faint fragrance of flowers in these little hands. Robin, do you still need to guess? Who else is it if not you? Lingfan also said with a smile, grabbed her cute and tender little hand, put it down, and turned his head to look at the person who came. The cute girl in front of him was Robin. At this time, Robin and Lingfan were the same age, both 8 years old, and their families were similar. Robin's mother went to sea when he was a child and never came back. As for Lingfan, he didn't know who his parents were. Hey Lingfan, let go of my hand. Robin's pink face turned slightly red, and she looked very hot. Lingfan did not let go, but teased, little Robin, I didn't expect that you would be shy at such a young age. I said seriously with a blushing face. Lingfan, let's go find the giant today. Robin changed the subject. Giant? Zoro? Lingfan asked. Yeah. Robin nodded, and it can be seen that she likes chatting with giants. However, what Lingfan was worried about came again. As a time traveler, he knew that Zoro was not an ordinary giant. Zoro's real identity was the Vice Admiral of the Navy headquarters. His mission this time was to lead the Navy, to capture Robin's mother Olivia and other scholars and archaeologists. However, because he talked with Robin's mother later, Zoro changed his mind and decided to save Olivia, which led to his being hunted by the Navy. Zoro was attacked by the Navy and was seriously injured. Not long after Lingfan crossed over, he drifted to O'Hara Island and was rescued by Robin by chance. Lingfan naturally helped treat Zoro together with Robin. Chapter 2. The world government attacks. Let's go. Robin smiled innocently. Lingfan immediately took Robin's hand and trotted all the way to the coast where Zoro stayed. There were almost no people here, so a giant like Zoro would not be discovered. Zoro, who was wearing a cowboy hat and looked very downcast, immediately laughed strangely after seeing the two of them. Tree, hehe. Lingfan boy, Robin girl, are you here to chat with me again today? Hehe. Your laugh is really ugly. Lingfan also laughed and scolded. Tree, it doesn't matter if it's ugly, even if you are sad, you have to laugh, so that life will be better. Zoro said optimistically. The careful Robin saw the raft floating on the sea and immediately asked, is your raft ready? Are you going, Zoro? Robin asked reluctantly. Lingfan knew that it was not easy for Robin to meet a friend, and Zoro's straightforward personality would not make Lingfan dislike him, so Lingfan immediately winked at Zoro. Oh, what are you doing? Robin, don't look sad. By the way, I want to make another flag. I'm going to stay here for a while. Zoro understood Lingfan's meaning. Although they had only been together for a few days, the three of them had established a deep friendship. Zoro also liked to get along with the two of them, so Yushi found a reason to continue to accompany Robin and Lingfan. At this time, Zoro was making flags while chatting with Robin and Lingfan casually. It should be another happy day, but what Lingfan was worried about finally came. In the distance, a huge ship was moving quickly towards Ohara from the sea. What is that? Robin stretched out her little hand and pointed to the sea. She had never seen such a large ship before, so she asked immediately. This is a ship of the world government. At this time, Lingfan had clearly seen the flag representing the world government fluttering in the wind. What? Question mark? That's the ship of the world government. Question mark? How is it possible? Question mark? How could there be a ship of the world government here? Zoro was also greatly surprised. Zoro had a bad premonition and immediately asked, Robin, Lingfan, where is this place? Ohara. When Robin said the name of the place, Zoro was completely shocked. Oh my god. Oh, Ohara. Why? How did I drift to Ohara? Zoro looked a little collapsed. Could it be that? Zoro then asked again, Robin, may I ask, your mother's name is Olivia. It's Nicole Olivia. Robin clearly and completely said her mother's name. Ah, Zoro was shocked to the point of doubting his life. He couldn't even control his body and fell backwards. His huge body fell directly to the ground, making a loud bang sound and raising dust high. Then Zoro said very seriously, Robin, Lingfan, now is not the time to dawdle. You guys run away quickly. I think after the people from the world government come, the Navy's warships will also be on the way. They came this time to destroy the entire Ohara. This is impossible. Isn't the Navy supposed to protect us? Robin looked in complete disbelief. Chapter 3 CP9 Landing. We just did a study on the blank for 100 years, and there is no threat to the Navy. We just did the research that scholars should do. Robin also looked unbelievable. It is because of this that the Navy and the world government want to completely destroy Ohara. They will wipe out all the scholars on the island. You must not tell others that you are a scholar. Zoro said. Liar. You are talking nonsense. Robin also looked unbelievable. Robin, Zoro is telling the truth. The justice that the Navy abides by is much narrower than you understand. For the scholars who study the blank for 100 years, there will definitely be no mercy. Lingfan also said seriously. As a time traveler, Lingfan naturally knows that in the world of One Piece, the world government and the Navy do not play a glorious role. That's right. What I said is true. I won't lie to you. If you don't believe it, you can go back to the town immediately to see if there is anything unusual. Robin, maybe your mother is back. Zoro also said very seriously. Really? Mom? Robin's heart was immediately filled with longing for his mother, and then he ran towards the direction of the all-knowing tree on Ohara Island. Lingfan nodded to Zoro and immediately followed Robin closely. At this time, Lingfan did not notice the white watch on his wrist, which was slowly releasing light. He did not notice that there was a line of words written on the watch. The system has been restarted. However, at this time, the world government's ships had landed at the port of Ohara. The flag representing the world government fluttered in the wind. A group of black-clad men in black suits scanned the entire Ohara and showed malicious expressions. Tell the headquarters that we are here. Hurry up. One by one. It's really troublesome, but this job will make me promoted, right? Hey, go and control all the scholars here. The leading black-clad man gave the order. He was the person in charge of this operation, Chief Spandine. Then the black-clad men began to arrest scholars and search for suspicious people everywhere. My lord, we are just ordinary businessmen. I'm not a scholar. I'm not. I'm just an ordinary person. I have nothing to do with these scholars. They are all in the library. As the saying goes, one knows the warmth and coldness of the water only when one drinks it. When it came to the moment of life and death, these residents of Ohara also betrayed the scholars and archaeologists. In that case, let's go to the library. Spandine waved his hand, and the black-clad men walked towards the direction of the library. At this time, Robin was also running towards the location of the Tree of All Knowledge with all his strength. Lingfan was a traverser, so he naturally knew that the tragedy of Ohara was almost inevitable. Except for Robin. Everyone on O'Hara Island will be killed by the Navy. Even if they get on the refugee ship, they will eventually be destroyed by the shells of Sakazuki, the current Vice Admiral of the Navy headquarters. No. I have to do something. Even if we can't prevent this tragedy, even if we can't save all the scholars, we have to save Zoro and Robin. Ling Fan traveled to this world, and the people closest to him were Robin and Zoro. He also hoped that the peaceful days would continue, but the reality was like a bomb with a lit fuse, which was about to shatter everything. Chapter 4: The Divine Plan. A burst of courage and determination immediately burst out from Ling Fan's heart. Even for myself, I can't die in such a cowardly way. Save myself, save Robin. Ling Fan wants to change everything he wants to change. Robin. I'll find a way to delay the steps of those bad guys in the world government. Go to the library to find the director and others. Ling Fan finally made a decision. Although Robin was worried about Ling Fan's safety, when she saw Ling Fan's resolute eyes, her eyes also turned red, and then she nodded, took a step, and ran towards the tree of all-knowing. Ling Fan began to mutter in his heart. God, don't be so unfair. What about the welfare of the time traveler? What kind of system will the time travelers of other families have? However, no one responded to Ling Fan. Instead, the CP9 members in black suits walked towards Ling Fan, getting closer and closer. Ling Fan's heart tightened. He took a step back and prayed again. Any lottery system or role-playing system is fine. If it doesn't work, you can just give me the strongest bloodline. Ling Fan suddenly remembered that he had read a book called Naruto's Strongest Bloodline before, in which the protagonist had the bloodline of Otsutsuki, and even Uchiha Madara and Kaguya could not make any waves in front of him. If he could be given a bloodline system in the world of pirates, then Ling Fan would be the king in minutes. Give me 50 cents too. Or 1,000 horses galloped through Ling Fan's heart, because no matter how sincerely Ling Fan prayed, he still didn't find any response. Hey, you kid. What are you doing sneakily? A man in black had already raised his rifle and pointed it at Ling Fan. Perhaps he had completely forgotten about death. Ling Fan was not afraid at all. He knew that the man in black in front of him was Spandine's subordinate. They were not ordinary people from the world government, but CP9. With his current strength, he would not be their opponent at all. Ling Fan did not wait for the system, but he did not lose his courage in his heart. I will not lose the battle, even if I lose the fight. For dignity. For Robin. I, Ling Fan, am fearless. Ling Fan made up his mind that he would die with dignity even if he died. At this moment, the watch on Ling Fan's wrist began to emit a stronger light, which soon attracted Ling Fan's attention. What is this? Ling Fan was shocked. He had never seen such a strange thing. What on earth is this watch? Since Ling Fan crossed over, this watch has been in black screen mode. Ling Fan did not know what it was used for, but now for some reason it emitted such a strong light. The things in front of him overlapped with the things in his memory. I suddenly remembered. Isn't this thing the sacred plan in Digimon? Question mark? However, the dazzling light also attracted the attention of the CP9 people in front of them. Brat, what's that thing in your hand? Question mark? Hand it over to me. The man in black in front of him was very curious about the thing on Ling Fan's wrist, fearing that it was a weapon. I won't give it to you. Ling Fan didn't have a good impression of these people, and then he directly retorted. Humph. You must be related to the scholar. Control him for me. After the man in black finished speaking, several men in black beside him also picked up Ling Fan. Since you are unwilling to give it to us, we have to take it by force, said the man in black. Chapter 5, Transformation System Awakening. HMPH. I'm not afraid of you. Ling Fan was a person who had experienced the previous life. At this moment, he was not afraid at all. At this moment, the watch on his hand immediately emitted a more dazzling light. The pure white light enveloped everything. The range and intensity of the light were very exaggerated, and it instantly enveloped the entire O'Hara Island. Suddenly, a voice came from Ling Fan's ear. The host's strong positive energy is detected. The strongest transformation system in the world is activated. Next, enter the novice tutorial mode. Please shout to start the super transformation form. Then transform into a powerful person to deal with the crisis at hand. Ling Fan was shocked and immediately responded, is this my golden finger? The strongest transformation system in the world. It sounds so cool. I wonder what this trick can turn me into? Ling Fan was very interested. The long-awaited golden finger finally came, and Ling Fan naturally wanted to study it. However, Ling Fan soon found that his body could not move at all, and everything around him seemed to be frozen. The whole world turned grey, and only his throat could make a sound. Host, please shout to activate the super transformation form. Transform into a powerful character to deal with the crisis at hand. The system repeated again. Ling Fan now understood that this was the system's mandatory tutorial for novices. It was like playing a new game. The game itself would freeze everything and gradually guide novices to get started, allowing them to become familiar with the simplest operations of the system, and players could not skip it. In that case, I have to do this too. The crisis at hand was so urgent that Ling Fan couldn't help but shout. Ling Fan made up his mind, showed a firm look in his eyes, and shouted at the top of his voice, "Activate the super transformation form." In his heart, he complained, "If I'm not mistaken, this is the golden sentence of Kabuto's transformation in Iron Armor Little Treasure." Rub, rub. 5 dazzling and brilliant rays of light surrounded Ling Fan's entire body, and the 5 rays of light spread to Ling Fan's limbs and head respectively. Immediately afterwards, Ling Fan's body began to undergo exaggerated changes, and his originally short body instantly became extremely tall. His originally fair and tender skin also became darker, turning into the skin of an adult male. All kinds of muscles on Ling Fan's body immediately burst out, and his figure also became a perfect man's figure. In addition, the clothes on Ling Fan's body also changed. The molecular structure of the original clothes changed instantly, turning into blue combat leather armor. There was also a white star on Ling Fan's chest, a blue hood on his head, revealing his nose, eyes, and mouth, and an A on his forehead, which represented the full spelling of the berry country. These are not the most critical. The most critical thing is that Ling Fan has an extra shield in his hand. The center of the entire shield is also a white 5-pointed star, and the surrounding of the shield is composed of red representing courage, white representing truth, and blue representing justice. Ling Fan is very familiar with this thing. Captain America's shield. Made of indestructible raw adamantium. Could it be that I have transformed into Captain America? Ling Fan then carefully observed himself, and found that his height and weight were very similar to Captain America in the Marvel movies. The only difference was that his face was still his own. Then the system's voice came again. Host, the transformation system has been linked to the Marvel Cinematic Universe system. In your next transformation journey, you will randomly transform into different Marvel characters. Chapter 6 begins. Captain America. Now, you have all the abilities of Captain America. Try to kill the enemy in front of you. After the system's voice appeared, the gray screen around turned into color again, and the men in black opened their eyes wide at this time, and those who wore sunglasses took off their sunglasses. They exclaimed, "Oh my god. It was a little ghost just now, right? How come it has turned into an adult now?" The man in black who caught Ling Fan was also frightened, and sat on the ground, moving slowly backwards. "What the hell? Question mark? Shoot, shoot. This guy might be a monster." The man in black was frightened, and immediately gave the order to attack. Bang bang bang. Countless bullets were fired at Ling Fan, and the surrounding townspeople closed their eyes in fear. They thought that Ling Fan's body would be shot into a sieve soon. However, Ling Fan at this time was no longer the Ling Fan just now. He was full of explosive power. His reaction speed and speed were far beyond that of ordinary humans. I hide. Ling Fan controlled his body as if he had learned observation haki. His expression was unusually relaxed, but his body was as fast as lightning. He dodged all the bullets perfectly. In fact, even if Ling Fan didn't dodge, he wouldn't be hurt if he was hit by a bullet. The power of the Navy's rifles in the pirate world was not much different from those in World War II. When they hit Captain America, it was just a tickle. How could this happen? Question mark? It's impossible. He was able to dodge our bullets. What a monster. Quick. Report quickly. Commander Spandine. The men in black took a breath of cold air, looking at everything that was impossible, but happened in front of them, and they almost collapsed to the ground. The men in black of the world government immediately told their Commander Spandine about this incredible thing. After hearing it, Spandine cursed, "Idiot. You are such a bunch of cowards. You are wasting my time. How could such a strange thing happen? Question mark? Becoming an adult and dodging bullets again. This kind of thing is easy to explain. This guy is a person with special abilities. In this case, we should get rid of him in the fastest way and then catch those scholars. As for me, I'll hide first." Spandine also fled in disgrace. This guy. He is just as despicable and afraid of death as in the anime, said Ling Fan, who was transformed into Captain America. Then two men in black rushed towards Ling Fan immediately. Shave. The man in black disappeared in an instant and kicked Ling Fan. Humph. Ling Fan looked disdainful, opened his arms, and grabbed the necks of the two CP9 members with his left and right hands very accurately, locking them tightly like pliers. How can the dogs of the world government who haven't even learned the 6 styles be my opponents? Ling Fan's eyes were full of revenge. This is impossible. Who are you? Ordinary people can't react at all. It's the 6 styles. It moves at high speed. The two men in black looked at Ling Fan with horror, and Ling Fan snorted coldly, "A mere 6 styles of the Navy? Can you be the opponent of Captain America? I have already seen through your movements. In my eyes, your speed is as fast as a turtle." Ah. Just as the two men in black were terrified, Ling Fan smashed the two men in black to the ground heavily. Bang. After a loud bang, 2 big holes were smashed in the ground. Chapter 7. Catching a bullet with bare hands. Captain America is the first superhero in Marvel movies. He participated in the super soldier program of the Berry country. After that, his strength, speed, reaction, endurance, defense, intelligence and many other physical abilities far exceeded those of ordinary people. He can even dodge bullets, let alone the 6 styles. Ling Fan smashed it, and the two men in black were already dying, and Spandine was even more terrified. Oh my god. He killed my 2 most capable men in one move. This is too much. Spandine immediately used all his strength and said, everyone, stop this guy who looks like he's acting in a drama." And Spandine himself immediately took steps with all his strength and ran towards the direction of the ship like flying. "A guy who's acting in a drama?" Ling Fan narrowed his eyes. "How dare you say something in front of me? Run. Can you run away?" Ling Fan took off the shield on his back and then threw it straight with one hand, and the shield hit Spandine directly like flying. Bang. Captain America's shield directly knocked the weak Spandine out. It was not known whether it was a coincidence or not, but Spandine's head directly hit the world government's ship with a clang. The scene was very funny. However, no one laughed at this time. Everything that Ling Fan showed had shocked everyone in CP9. Captain Spandine. The CP9 members in black clothes went to rescue Spandine in one wave and immediately surrounded Ling Fan and raised their rifles. Fire. Kill him. Countless bullets were fired at Ling Fan, but Ling Fan was full of disdain at this moment. He immediately grabbed the handle of the vibranium shield in his hand and completely blocked his upper body with it. Bang bang bang. Ding 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 ding. The bullets hit the shield, bursting out countless flames and making crisp sounds, but a closer look did not cause any impact. Impossible. The shield is fine. What kind of shield is that? How can it be so hard? It must be a person with special abilities. We'll use Eastern bullets this time. We'll definitely shoot him into a hornet's nest. Right. Aim at him. Start shooting. The man in black changed the bullets and then fired countless bullets at Ling Fan. At this time, Ling Fan did not use his shield to block, but put away his shield with a slight smile on his face. "What are you doing?" The enemies had no idea of Ling Fan's purpose, but they still started shooting. Bang, bang, bang. Ling Fan actually danced directly in the dense trajectory, waving his hands while dancing. Impossible. This guy actually caught the bullet with his bare hands. Even if he is a person with special abilities, it's impossible for him to catch a bullet made of Seaston. Oh my god. This is impossible. Keep shooting. This can't be true. Ling Fan's super speed and reaction ability made him not be hurt at all. Seaston is very precious, and Seaston bullets are even rarer. Even CP9 didn't bring many. After shooting for a while, they ran out of bullets. At this time, Ling Fan showed them a scene that shocked them even more. Ling Fan spread out his palm, and countless bullets reflected the light in the sun. It was obvious. All the bullets. All of them were caught by Lingfen. It seems that you have no bullets, so I will be kind and return the bullets to you. Lingfen smiled evilly. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8, Shooting Down the Shells. Oh my god. Is this still a human? Can he catch a bullet with his bare hands? The men in black had already begun to doubt their lives. Then Lingfan's mouth corners slightly raised, and the sea-stun bullet in his hand was thrown out with a whizzing sound. Because of Captain America's super strength, the bullets thrown out also had extremely strong lethality. Bang! The bullets instantly fell on the countless men in black around them, completely piercing their bodies. Sir, help. This man is too strong. We are not his opponent at all. The men in black were beaten back by Captain America transformed by Lingfan. They were all extremely embarrassed and had lost the confidence to fight against Lingfan. It seems that O'Hara not only studied the history of the past, he also has connections with pirates. This is not my fault. O'Hara, destroy it. Spandine was just rescued by his men, and the first thing he did was to press the button of the golden Denmashi in his hand. Although Lingfan could not stop the Demon Slayer order, but Lingfan, who has transformed into a superhero, will never surrender. Bang! A huge cannonball suddenly shot out from the sea in the distance, aiming at the Tree of All-Knowing. No, there is not only Robin, but also innocent O'Hara scholars. Lingfan's heart instantly burst out a lot of blood, and his strength and speed reached the peak at this moment. Lingfan's speed completely surpassed human cognition, and he quickly rushed towards the direction of the cannonball, like a cheetah. What is this guy going to do? Spandine also opened his mouth wide. Could it be? Is this guy going to stop that cannonball? Are you kidding? Oh my god. Lingfan's feet kicked hard. Bang. The ground sank a lot. Then, Lingfan's body whooshed and jumped up. Everything around him was away from Lingfan, and Lingfan was unusually close to the cannonball. Shield. Lingfan threw the shield in his hand and hit the cannonball accurately. Then, he easily split the huge cannonball in two. What the hell? Spandine ordered immediately. Everyone, turn the ship around. Leave the rest to the navy. Under the Demon Slayer order, none of them can survive. Let's retreat quickly. Lingfen easily solved a cannonball, thus avoiding the destruction of the O'Hara Tree of All Knowledge. Captain America's shield in his hand is an indestructible original adamantium metal, which was made by Iron Man's father and strengthened by Iron Man himself. Splitting the cannonball in two is just a piece of cake. Lingfen, who was in the air, tightly grasped the shield that was spinning around, trying to protect it in front of himself, and then fell from the air. Bang! Lingfen's body fell to the ground, landing in a perfect posture, and his body was only slightly covered with dust. The Demon Slayer order has been activated. The main force of the Navy will gather soon. It seems that the next battle will be a tough battle. Lingfen clenched his fists and felt the energy of transforming into Captain America. At this time, Lingfen's watch made a sound again. Hello, host. Next is the description of the novice tasks. After completing major events, you will have the opportunity to transform into a new superhero. Big events? Lingfan asked. Chapter 9, Robin's mother. The divine plan then began to explain the specific tasks. Next, let's start the explanation of the novice task. Since CP9's chief Spandane has launched the demon killing order, O'Hara will face the key to life and death. This will be a far-reaching event, which will play an important role in the direction of this world. The host's task is to change the ending of O'Hara's destruction. Use Captain America's ability to resist the Navy and the world government. The task that changes the events that can affect the future development is called a major event task. After the major event is completed, the power of the divine plan will be upgraded. You will have a new chance to transform into a superhero, and who you will become is random. After the system's explanation, Lingfan understood that he had to constantly change the development trajectory of history, and completing a major task would randomly have a different superhero. The novice explanation is over. Please pay attention to the host. Each time the form changes, the intelligent time will choose whether to continue to maintain the form according to the host's needs. The voice of the divine plan disappeared completely, and everything around him returned to color again, and Ling Fan's body could move freely. However, since CP9 and others had been driven away, Captain America's form was temporarily useless, and Ling Fan finally changed back to his original form. Due to the attack of artillery shells, the entire O'Hara Island was in chaos at this time. Large numbers of islanders packed their bags and boarded the refugee ship. I have to find Robin and Robin's mother as soon as possible. Ling Fan wanted to complete the big event, so he naturally had to start by rescuing Robin. However, before Ling Fan rushed back to the Tree of All-Knowing to find Robin, a woman with grey hair who looked very similar to Robin had already taken out a shotgun and rushed out of the library. Huh? Why is there no one here? Didn't those guys from the world government already find this place? Why are they gone now? Did someone help us? Seeing this, Ling Fan immediately shouted, "Aunt Olivia, the CP9 group has been driven away by my friends. O'Hara is temporarily safe." Hearing someone calling her name, Olivia was startled. She was originally very alert and was ready to raise the shotgun in her hand and aim at the source of the sound. However, after hearing a child's voice, Olivia gave up this idea. "Little friend, who are you? How do you know my name? Who is your friend?" Olivia asked in confusion. "My name is Ling Fan. I'm Robin's friend. Your name was told to us by Soro. I know Soro saved you, and I also know CP9. My friend has driven them all away." Ling Fan said. "What? How could Soro be here? Who is your friend?" "He was able to drive away CP9. They are masters of the Navy 6 styles. Don't joke with me. This is a matter of life and death for O'Hara. Since he is Robin's friend, then protect Robin and run away," Olivia said resolutely. Ling Fan shook his head and said, "Escape. It's too late. CP9 Commander Spandin has launched the demon killing order. Now the Navy warships have surrounded O'Hara. Even the refugee ship is not safe. It will be destroyed by the Navy warships at any time." This Olivia clenched her fists tightly and cursed unwillingly. "Navy! Exclamation mark. What exactly do you want? Not only do you want to destroy O'Hara, but you also want to kill innocent islanders? Exclamation mark. Chapter 10 Naval Warships. Olivia's expression was a little angry and a little sad. She was naturally angry about the actions of the Navy and the world government, and sad for O'Hara Island and her child Robin. At this time, many of the Navy's heaviest warships had begun to appear on the sea, and a large number of naval soldiers were ready to go on the warships. The Demon Slayer order is an inhumane attack that burns everything. It will have more than 10 warships, 5 vice admirals, and the elite combat power of the Navy. Of course, the most critical meaning of the Demon Slayer order is that it represents the irreconcilable attitude of the Navy in this camp. It sounds like O'Hara has no hope, but Ling Fan did not lose confidence. He has a transformation system. "Aunt Olivia, we can't give up yet." Ling Fan immediately patted Olivia and said, "Soro can cover you and your daughter. My friend can help me divert the attention of the Navy, and O'Hara may still survive." Olivia shook her head and said, "Don't joke. That's the demon killing order. No matter how powerful your friend is, he can't escape the ruthless artillery attack." Then, the warships in the distance were also ready. Obviously, they were ready to destroy O'Hara. At this time, the ground shook slightly, and a huge figure came to Ling Fan and Olivia. "Ling Fan boy, Olivia, come on. I'll protect you." Soro directly blocked the two with his body. Boom boom boom. The shells on the warships immediately fired at the edge of O'Hara, temporarily launching a wave of tentative attacks. Of course, it is possible that the Navy noticed Soro, and Lieutenant General Cuson ordered him to show mercy. Soro used his giant body to block this round of artillery attacks for them, but O'Hara was severely damaged. The all-knowing tree on O'Hara Island had been ignited by the artillery fire. "No. If this continues, we will be killed sooner or later. O'Hara will be destroyed sooner or later. No. We must do something. We can't passively take a beating." At this moment, Ling Fan once again made up his mind to wake up. While the two were facing the artillery shells, Ling Fan put his wrist to his mouth and shouted, "Start the super transformation form." 5 dazzling lights immediately wrapped Ling Fan up. At this time, Ling Fan's body once again transformed, and his height grew from less than 1 meter to nearly 1 meter 9. The whole image also completely changed into the appearance of Captain America. He was majestic, and had a shield in his hand. "Hey, Zoro. Please do me a favor," Captain America said directly. "You are." Zoro and Olivia were shocked. Ling Fan was no longer around, and there was a character like a theater actor for no reason. It was very strange. What is this? Is it the Navy? Question mark? No. Could it be that you are the friend of that kid just now? The existence that repelled CP9? Question mark? Excuse me, who are you? Olivia and Zoro also asked in surprise. Everyone calls me Captain America. Captain America? Zoro, a former vice admiral of the Navy headquarters, had never heard of such a name and thought it might be a nickname. By the way, Zoro, please do me a favor. Just throw me onto the opposite warship, Ling Fan said. What? Question mark? Are you serious or joking? Zoro asked. Olivia was also quite surprised, thinking that Captain America was joking. Look into my eyes. I, Captain America, never joke. I'm extremely serious. Chapter 11 Captain America arrives. There is no time to waste. Believe me, Zoro. Believe me, Olivia. Ling Fan also conquered Zoro and Olivia with his confident and righteous eyes. Got it. Zoro finally lifted up Captain America. Ling Fan. Zoro, are you sure you want to do this? As a scholar, Olivia felt that this was a bit imprecise. I don't know why, but I believe in this guy. Although I don't know what he is going to do, just believe him. Zoro then threw Ling Fan up, and finally used all his strength to throw him up. Just like that, Zoro finally let go. Swish. Captain America's body immediately flew into the air. The huge strength of the giants made the Navy warships, that were originally very far away, suddenly close at hand. Then, Ling Fan landed on the deck of the warship in an extremely handsome posture, with fierce eyes, and shouted, "I'm Captain America. I will not let you destroy O'Hara." Haha. What kind of strange guy are you? You look like a stage actor. Have you watched too many theater performances? The soldiers who put on the suit also laughed. The image of Captain America made the Navy laugh. Humph. I will make you stop laughing soon. Ling Fan also made a fighting posture. An expert knows whether he will succeed or not once he makes a move. The rear admiral immediately had a bad premonition and shouted, "Shoot." The Navy all took out their rifles and aimed at Ling Fan and started shooting. Ling Fan suddenly rushed towards the Navy soldiers and dodged the bullets very flexibly and quickly. Ling Fan's reaction speed far exceeded the human limit. While he himself did not receive any damage, he also pulled out the shield behind him and threw it out with all his strength. Swish. The shield immediately broke through like a bamboo and instantly knocked nearly 100 Navy soldiers to the ground. Captain America was like a wolf and a flock of sheep, beating the Navy fiercely. Bang! Ling Fan punched out, and the power of that punch was so terrifying that more than a dozen Navy soldiers could not resist it, even if they tried their best. Bang! Ling Fan kicked out, and the power of that kick was even more powerful than the punch. The warship was kicked out of the billowing smoke. Swoosh! Ling Fan took advantage of the situation and threw out the shield in his hand. The indestructible shield cut through the air and smashed through the warship, causing the warship to bang and not only emit thick smoke, but also burn with flames. In less than 3 minutes, Ling Fan had destroyed a warship. Seeing this, the rear admiral on the warship was also stunned and even forgot that he was the commander of the warship. Oh my god. Is this guy a monster? This power. It's comparable to the giants. Help. This guy is a master. Mom. I want to go home. The entire warship was destroyed because of Ling Fan's strong arrival. Don't forget that Captain America is a hero of World War II. He knows all the core positions and weakest points of all warships. Although there is still some distance from O'Hara Island, because Ling Fan suppressed the Navy so much, the entire warship was on fire, and Zoro and Olivia were already fixed in place. They have never seen a big movie with a superhero theme at such a close distance. Ling Fan's friend is really strong. He destroyed a warship in less than 3 minutes. This guy's really impressive. Chapter 12. Battle against the Rear Admiral. Captain America, right? I'm the Rear Admiral of the Navy headquarters. Do you dare to fight me? said a rear admiral in a Navy officer's uniform. Captain America Lingfan raised his lips slightly and hooked his finger at the rear admiral. The meaning of provocation was self-evident. Humph. How dare you turn my warship into this state? I will make you die ugly. The rear admiral then rushed towards Lingfan. The rear admiral of the Navy headquarters in front of him, as a general officer, is naturally much stronger than ordinary Navy soldiers. Shave. The rear admiral used the shave of the 6 styles, and his body speed instantly doubled. He appeared in front of Lingfan in just a moment, and at the same time, the rear admiral raised his index finger high and poked Lingfan. Finger gun. After transforming into Captain America, his intelligence is also superior, otherwise Captain America would not have become the spiritual leader of the Avengers. Use the shaving technique to close the distance, and then use the finger gun. Want to kill me instantly? Normal people really can't react. But this move has no effect on me who has exceeded the limits of the human body. Lingfan raised his eyebrows slightly and smirked. Just when the finger gun was about to touch his body, Lingfan quickly blocked the shield in his hand in front of himself. There was a loud bang, followed by a loud scream of pain. Wow. It hurts. The Navy Rear Admiral rolled his eyes in pain. As the saying goes, the 10 fingers are connected to the heart, and the Rear Admiral almost died of pain. Want to pierce my body with one finger? I'll let you lose one finger. In theory, the 6 style finger gun is extremely powerful and can easily penetrate the body of any ordinary person who doesn't have the armor color and iron block. As for the shield, it's naturally no problem. But the captain's shield is indestructible and can be said to be the strongest shield. The Navy Rear Admiral was naive enough to use the finger gun to attack Lingfan and naturally suffered the consequences in the end. Are there any other means of attack? No? Then it's my turn. Lingfan threw the shield in his hand directly, but the Rear Admiral learned his lesson this time and used his body skills to dodge it. Iron block. The Rear Admiral's whole body became extremely hard, and then Lingfan also punched him. Bang. Lingfan's punch was very powerful. Although he pushed the Rear Admiral back a little, he did not really hurt the Rear Admiral. Ha 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 ha. What do you think? Even if you are strong, you can't break my iron block. No matter how strong an ordinary person is, he will never be the opponent of a 6 style strong man. The Rear Admiral smiled proudly. Lingfan then said admiringly, it's really amazing. Hey, just surrender. I think you should know that you can't beat me. The Rear Admiral said proudly. Ha. Lingfan suddenly laughed. What are you laughing at? The Rear Admiral asked. I'm laughing at you being stupid. After Lingfan finished speaking, the shield in his hand had already returned like a boomerang. The Rear Admiral was not prepared at all, and just bang, was hit on the back of the head, and then he fell to the ground and could not get up again. The entire naval warship was about to explode. Lingfan immediately ran to the control room and found that the warship could still be controlled. Then he controlled the warship to crash into another nearest warship. Lingfan himself dived into the water. Captain America's swimming skills are naturally very powerful. It is not enough to just stop one warship. In order to smash the demon killing order, Lingfan has to face more enemies. Chapter 13. Vice Admiral burns the mountain. Fire. Fire. Help. Come quickly. What's going on? Why is this warship heading straight towards us? Lieutenant General, what do you think we should do? Lingfan controlled the warship to crash into another warship, and the commander of this warship happened to be the Vice Admiral of the Navy headquarters. This Vice Admiral wore a hat with the word Navy written on it on his head, a cigar in his mouth, and his beard started to grow from his ears and covered his entire chin. He was the Vice Admiral Huashe of the Navy headquarters. Can we speed up? Avoid the collision of the warship? Huashe asked. No. The speed of the destroyed warship is quite fast, and we have no way to avoid it. The soldier said with some fear. In that case, then fire. Get rid of this warship. We must not let it cause any damage to us. Lieutenant General Huashe gave the order very decisively. And then, before the gun was fired, Lieutenant General Huashe heard a boom. No. No. Flustered? What's wrong? What happened? Vice Admiral Huashe suddenly had a bad feeling. Our main gun was torn off. The soldiers replied. What did you say? It was torn off. Who did it? Vice Admiral Huashioshin immediately came out of the command cabin in a rage. I did it. Lingfan's voice came, and then he swung the main gun of the warship in his hand. How is it possible? How can such a huge cannon be wielded so easily? Huashioshin immediately drew out his samurai sword and slashed it. As a Vice Admiral of the Navy headquarters, Huashioshin has more powerful strength than a Major General. Although his swordsmanship is not the best in the Navy, he is also a master. Pulling out the samurai sword, he instantly split the huge cannon into two. Awesome. Lingfan praised, and then fought with Huashioshin. Who are you? Huashioshin asked with a cigar between his lips. I'm the hero of justice. Captain America. Lingfan patted his chest, which made Huashioshin very dumbfounded. Captain America of Justice? Who is this? Huashioshin touched his head. In the vast ocean, he had never heard of this name. It doesn't matter. It seems that you are an unknown person. However, since you attacked the Navy warship, this is a provocation to the Navy. I will not let you go. You will be executed on the spot now. Vice Admiral Huashioshin also drew out his samurai sword and rushed towards Lingfan. Huashioshin used his IAI again to slash at Lingfan, but Lingfan did not retreat at all, but rushed forward bravely and fearlessly. At the same time, Lingfan took out his shield from his back and blocked it in front of himself. Dang! Exclamation mark. The shield completely blocked Huashioshin's slashing blow. Huashioshin suddenly felt his hands numb. The powerful recoil almost made Huashioshin let go of his samurai sword. What? This is impossible. I'm the Vice Admiral of the headquarters of the Navy. My slash can even cut a solid cannon in half. You actually blocked it with your shield? Question mark? Is it a Seaston shield? Question mark? It's too exaggerated. There's not even a trace. Question mark? Huashioshin was shocked. Chapter 14 Lingfan's plan. Ding, ding, ding. Lingfan knocked on his shield with his hands and then said, my shield is not Seaston. This is the original adamantium. Vibranium, do you know? Lingfan asked. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. I will completely deal with you. The scientific department will definitely be interested in this thing. Vice Admiral Huashioshin then did not waste time, and the two collided again. But this time Lingfan used his shield to hold it in front of him, and then after the collision, he directly used Vice Admiral Huashioshin's body to roll out. Goodbye, Vice Admiral. I will fight you again when I have time. Lingfan took the opportunity to roll over Vice Admiral Huashioshin's body and then jumped into the water perfectly. You actually ran away. Huashioshin was very angry. He hadn't used his real skills yet, but he was jumped into the water by the enemy. For him, it was a great shame. Vice Admiral, the warship is about to hit. A Navy soldier reminded him, and Huashioshin understood why Lingfan wanted to escape. Oh no, it's too late. Abandon the ship. Abandon the ship. Huashioshin finally jumped into the water helplessly and swam towards other warships at a very fast speed. Quick, everyone evacuate. Everyone evacuate. With a bang, the Navy warship hit the middle of this warship, which directly caused the warship to break. The entire warship was in a mess. Some Navy fell into the water, some Navy were burned to death by the flames, and some Navy were killed on the spot by the warship. The surrounding shouts, cries for help, and the sounds of den mushi were simply endless. At this time, Lingfan had no idea of relaxing. Although he had killed 2 Navy warships, the two Moling had more than 10 warships. The most important thing is that he also has the terrifying natural ability, the Navy headquarters Vice Admiral. Although Lingfan can transform into Captain America at this time, he has never had domineering power, so he can't make an effective attack on the natural ability users. Lingfan quickly swam towards O'Hara. At this time, the gunfire of the remaining 8 warships was still mercilessly ravaging the entire O'Hara. Captain America. No. The Navy is too strong. We know you are very powerful, but if this goes on, O'Hara will still be destroyed. Zoro and Olivia also said a little disappointed. The Navy's warships tried to completely destroy this island with shells. Not to mention us. Even those ordinary townspeople were killed. Olivia also gritted her teeth and was very unwilling. Don't give up. Lingfan patted Olivia's shoulder and said, think about Robin. You still have your daughter. How can you give up? Ling Fan already has the ability of Captain America, so he naturally immediately turned into the spiritual leader of everyone. What should we do? Captain? Do you have any ideas? After all, you destroyed 2 warships. Zoro just saw everything. Of course there is a way. But Zoro's method is quite dangerous. Do you have the courage to make sacrifices? Ling Fan asked. No problem. It's absolutely okay, as long as we can save Robin and Olivia. Zoro said firmly. In that case, you and I will attack the Navy ship together again. We just destroyed 2 warships and have attracted the attention of the Navy. If we attack again, we will definitely attract some of the Navy's attention. Olivia, now you can lead Robin to escape through the gap. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15, Kuzen's Attack. Yes, Robin is still young. Robin can't be hurt. Zoro felt that Ling Fan's words made sense and immediately persuaded Olivia. Okay. Olivia nodded, thinking it made sense, so she immediately turned around to look for Robin. At this time, Zoro looked at Ling Fan and said, we have become O'Hara's last barrier. Yes. Next, we have to fight hard. Ling Fan clenched his fists and set his sights on the 8 warships in the distance. At this time, the atmosphere on the warship became much heavier. Bulu. Aga. General Waring states. Yes, a blue guy who looks like he is wearing a costume. Okay. Don't worry. The Navy officer finally hung up the den mushi. This man is tall, wearing a white suit vest and a dark blue shirt. He is a very lazy person who loves freedom and vacation. At this time, he looked at O'Hara in the distance with cold eyes and said, it's really annoying. Not only is a rare vacation gone, but in the end I have to deal with my former colleagues. The most important thing is that the enemy destroyed 2 warships and even forced Vice Admiral Ocean to jump into the water to escape. This guy's too much. He forced Admiral Sengoku to order me, Kuzen, to kill him. I guess it was Sakazuki who reported it. It seems that it's time for me to take action. Yes, the person who spoke was Vice Admiral Kuzen of the Navy headquarters, and in the future, he will be Admiral Aokiji of the Navy headquarters. At this time, he finally stood up from the recliner, looked at O'Hara and said, stop the bombardment. Next, listen to my command. Then Kuzen directly froze the sea, forming a long passage, and then Kuzen also slid on the ice to the direction of Zoro and Ling Fan, moving quickly. Ling Fan and Zoro were very excited to see that the Navy stopped the bombardment, but the next second their mood fell into a cliff. Is this Kuzen? Aokiji? No way! Exclamation mark. The future Admiral of the Navy. Now I actually met him. Question mark. Ling Fan's heart was also full of uneasiness. Now, even if he turned into Captain America, it was not an easy task to deal with Aokiji. Zoro. It seems that the Navy already knows how powerful I am, so they sent Kuzen over. Leave this to me. Go and help Robin and her daughter, okay? Ling Fan knew that facing Kuzen, Zoro would be dead, so he immediately persuaded him. No. If you stay here, you will be killed by Zoro. Don't think I don't know. You are actually Ling Fan boy. It's great to have a friend like you. Zoro was not as stupid as he looked. Seeing this, Ling Fan naturally did not hide his identity and then said, let's go. I'll create a gap. Create opportunities. Otherwise, there will be no chance. Zoro laughed instead. I didn't expect that in addition to Olivia and Robin, there are such interesting people like you as friends. I'm also content with my life. I'm willing to die with you. In that case, let's fight to the end. Even if the Admiral of the Navy comes, I will stop him. At this moment, the sacred plan in Ling Fan's hand suddenly appeared and then began to release a dazzling light. What is this? Another transformation? Question mark? Ling Fan was excited again. Chapter 16, New Transformation. The host's strong emotions are detected, and the light of friendship will light up. A voice suddenly rang out from the divine plan. Attention. Kuzen is coming. Zoro also had a serious expression. I'm afraid this guy can't hear it. The divine plan continued. You have held a friendship. Next, a new round of transformation will begin. New transformation. Ling Fan was both excited and worried at this time. He was excited that the new transformation might make him a more powerful superhero, but of course he might also transform into a person weaker than Captain America. Forget it, let it all be left to fate. Ling Fan raised the deep plan in his hand to his mouth and then said, start the super transformation form. Danklang. At this time, Ling Fan summoned 5 dazzling lights again, and the lights all covered his body. What is this guy doing? Kyuzen was skating on the ice from a distance, and then immediately raised his hand high and said, Ice Cube 2 Thorns. Several ice spears immediately formed from Kyuzen's side, and quickly stabbed at the glowing Ling Fan and Zoro. At this time, Ling Fan was still in the state of transformation, so it was naturally impossible for him to free his hands to resist Kyuzen's attack. Zoro also directly blocked in front of Ling Fan, and used his body to bear Kyuzen's attack for Ling Fan. Swish. The 2 attacks pierced Zoro's body, and Zoro immediately spurted out blood. At this time, Ling Fan's body changed again, but the change was not big, and his figure was almost unchanged, but his blue costume became an ordinary normal outfit. Zoro. I really can't understand why you betrayed the Navy. Kyuzen finally came to Zoro's side. This guy is your accomplice who calls himself Captain America, right? Let me meet him. Freezing time. Kyuzen then froze Zoro's lower body. Run. Ling Fan boy. Zoro also said excitedly. Next. Let me see. Is your ice more powerful, or is my fire more powerful? A ball of blazing flame instantly rushed towards Kyuzen. Kyuzen was startled and raised his hand to release cold air, creating an ice wall. Boom. The flame pierced through the ice wall, and Kyuzen had to dodge backwards before completely avoiding the flame. What? Question mark? Are you the user of the flame fruit? Question mark? Kyuzen was very surprised. In the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia, there had been a relative fruit, which was the exact opposite of the freeze flame fruit, and that was the flame fruit. Huh? Kyuzen, right? I think you misunderstood. I'm not the user of the flame fruit. My name is Johnny. I have a nickname. It's Thunderbolt. Zingfan said lightly, and then he burned himself completely, turning himself into a man of fire, and rushed towards Kyuzen at an extremely fast speed. This time, the target of Lingfan's transformation is the fire-controlling hero among the Fantastic Four, the Human Torch. In the Marvel world, he can not only create fire, but also control fire, and use fire to fly. After Ling Fan transformed into the Human Torch, his energy and the power of nature were rapidly improved, and what Ling Fan could not expect was even more. Captain America's ability was superimposed with the ability of the Human Torch. At this time, Ling Fan not only had Captain America's shield on his back, but also had the ability of fire all over his body. At this moment, Ling Fan finally had the strength to fight against Kyuzen. Chapter 17. Thunderbolt vs. Aokiji. It can actually fly. Kyuzen was also surprised. In his cognition, the people with the ability of the flame fruit were not so exaggerated. Wow. Boy, you are really amazing. I didn't expect you to have so many magical abilities. I really underestimated you. Boy, come on. Tree, hehe. Zoro laughed optimistically. Ice ball. Kyuzen raised his hand and released 5 ice pillars facing Ling Fan, who was rushing towards him. The ice pillars have the power of the devil fruit. As long as they touch ordinary people, they will be completely frozen. But who is Ling Fan? But Johnny the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. Ling Fan's whole body was in flames, and the whole body burst out with blazing flames. Ling Fan completely covered the shield behind him with flames, and finally threw the shield out. In an instant, the indestructible vibranium shield smashed Kyuzen's 5 ice pillars. The ice chips were scattered by the wind, and fell beside Kyuzen's shocked eyes. What kind of weapon is this? Kyuzen took a breath of cold air, and did not dare to take this move head on, so he used his body skills to dodge it again. Ling Fan quickly accumulated strength, and the flames in his body gathered on his arms. Finally, he punched out with a fire fist, and a huge fireball turned into a fire wolf, rushing out from Ling Fan's hand. Kyuzen dodged the flame vibranium shield on the one hand, and gathered the cold air on his right arm on the other hand, and then condensed it into hard ice, and then fired it out. Ice cube veil and cone mouth. The huge ice turned into the form of an ice bird and also rushed towards Lingfan's fire wolf quickly. Kyuzen would never have thought that there would be a strong man on Ohara who was not inferior to him in strength. The ice and the fire finally collided with each other, and an extremely powerful shockwave was immediately generated with the two as the center. Exclamation mark. After the shockwave spread outward, the scholars on the entire Ohara Island felt a vibration. Oh my god. What happened? This powerful shockwave. Even the sea has become uneasy. At this time, a man wearing a navy cap snorted coldly, "That guy Kyuzen. What is he doing?" Lieutenant General Sakazuki. Lieutenant General Kyuzen is fighting fiercely with the enemy. Fierce battle? With the traitor Zoro? Or with the theater actor called Captain America? Sakazuki smiled contemptuously again, and then stood up. What is going on? Sakazuki also opened his eyes wide and couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. The two of them just used energy to bombard each other, and finally created a huge deep pit on the spot. The surrounding flames were still burning, and ice chips and ice cubes were everywhere. Zoro was shaken off the ice that froze his lower body by the shockwave, and immediately ran to a high place, thus avoiding danger. At this time, Kyuzen was panting heavily, and Lingfen was also consumed a lot. It can be seen that the two sides are currently evenly matched. Who are you? Captain America? Human Torch? Who are you? Tell me your name. Kyuzen asked again. Human Torch. Lingfen patted his chest and said, "You are very strong." But, that's all. Kyuzen had already made up his mind. What is the justice you uphold? Kyuzen. Zoro knew that Kyuzen wanted to use that trick, and then immediately persuaded him. Justice? Everyone's dispute is different. Now I want to know the justice in your hearts. Kyuzen pointed his finger at Lingfen and Zoro. Lingfen was very confused. Chapter 89 Lingfen. I'm telling you my cards. Yes. What is your justice? Kyuzen asked. The world government and the navy have no reason to stick to their narrow justice. Killing scholars and archaeologists? Is this justice? My justice is to protect the people I want to protect. The friends around me, and the most important partners. Zoro said. Just because of this, why do you go against the navy? Don't hesitate to betray. Kyuzen then stopped looking at Zoro, and looked at Lingfen. Me. Ohara is where I was born, and Zoro, Robin and others are all my friends. But this is not justice. Lingfen. I just want to fight the unscrupulous world government and the executioner navy to the death. Lingfen directly said his name. Lingfen? So this is your real name? Yes. My name is Lingfen. I'm showing my cards, remember my name and appearance. Kyuzen didn't say anything, just nodded. Zoro. Go away. In the next battle, I will deal with Lingfen wholeheartedly. I don't have time to care about others. Kyuzen squinted his eyes and looked at Lingfen. Let's go. Zoro. Take Robin and Olivia. Didn't you make a raft? Question mark. Use that raft to leave from the west coast. I'm not that easy to deal with. Lingfen looked at Zoro firmly. Zoro nodded and immediately went to find Robin and Olivia. After Zoro left, Lingfen asked, "Well, let Zoro go. Because I want to see what the things you are guarding with your lives will become in the end." Kyuzen said, "Humph. With your current strength, how can you easily take my life?" Lingfen was full of confidence. The combined power of Captain America and the Human Torch was enough to make him invincible. You have to let me release my strongest move after all. Don't worry, I will control the range of this move, and only let him freeze you. Kyuzen then began to accumulate strength, and the power of the devil fruit was brought to its extreme. It was obvious that the temperature around him began to drop sharply. Vice Admiral Sakazuki, who was not far away, was also a little stunned. How could the enemy be so strong? Isn't he just a guy in a costume? I didn't expect that this guy Kyuzen would actually use his strongest move. Humph. Kyuzen really regressed. Sakazuki saw Zoro running in the distance, and then said, "Start shooting." "Shoot? Question mark. What do you mean? Question mark." The Navy soldier also didn't understand what the Vice Admiral meant. "It means, start launching artillery attacks. Destroy Ohara for me," Sakazuki said. But Vice Admiral Kyuzen said not to bombard first. Said the Navy soldier. "Do you want to disobey the demon killing order, soldier?" Sakazuki said coldly, and the Navy soldier immediately dared not say anything. Prepare for bombardment, the soldier shouted. On O'Hara, Lingfan, who was ready to resist Kuzan's big move, sneered, look, these flying shells? Is this your justice, Kuzan? Do you agree with the justice of the Navy, attacking refugee ships, killing innocent civilians, and blocking history? I didn't expect this. Kuzan shook his head and said, this is not an order I gave. You are just an executioner who obeys orders. You are just a bullet of the world government and the Navy. Lingfan's eyes then burst out with determination and resoluteness. And I am a shield. I will protect everything I want to protect. All. Chapter 19 Ice Age vs. Nova Explosion. Lingfan firmly grasped his Captain America shield and blocked it in front of himself, making a gesture of swearing to defend everything. In that case, I won't say anything more to you. Ice Age. Kuzan slapped the ground with one palm, and in less than 3 seconds, the ground was covered with thick ice crystals. Even the sea was frozen within a range of 50 meters centered on Kuzan. This move is not just as simple as freezing the ground. The most important thing is that after Kuzan used the freezing power, the air was also filled with icy cold air. Boom. Lingfan immediately released all the flame energy of his body, and the surrounding cold air was burned hot again. However, the power of the Ice Age increased rapidly. Not only Lingfan's body began to freeze, but even the Captain America shield in his hand began to freeze. Lingfan broke through his own limits again and again, breaking through the freezing of the surrounding cold air again and again, and his whole body began to burn with flames again. The surrounding heat has been almost absorbed. There is no other way. This move seems to be the strongest move of Thunderbolt. I still underestimated the power of the pirate world. Kuzan is worthy of being one of the 3 admirals of the Navy. If I can survive this time, I will definitely burn. Boy. Lingfan completely released all the heat, and his whole body immediately burned with a bigger flame. Lingfan's actions immediately shocked everyone. This guy. He can still hold on. This is my strongest move. I didn't expect him to hold on for so long. Kuzan was shocked. Although he is a vice admiral of the Navy headquarters, his strength has long reached the threshold of the admiral. He has the ability of the natural freeze fruit, and has never met an opponent. But this time Lingfan refreshed his 3 views. This guy must be killed without mercy. If a guy this level is allowed to enter the sea, he will definitely become a very terrifying enemy. At this time, Lieutenant General Sakazuki also included Lingfan in the list of people who must be killed. The fire emanating from Lingfan's body was originally very strong, but it was immediately condensed and compressed. Robin. Lingfan had already flown into the air at this time. He seemed to see Zoro running away with Robin. In this case, I will do whatever I want. Lingfan's expression was immediately seen by Kuzan. What does this guy want to do? Compressed flames, right? Kuzan's bad premonition came true. Nova explosion. Lingfan detonated his body at the last moment, and everything around him turned to ashes in an instant. Boom boom boom. The huge sound was deafening in an instant. The ice surface was completely destroyed, and Kuzan showed a shocked expression. He didn't expect Lingfan to blow himself up. He turned himself into an element in the shortest time, and his whole body turned into ice. He immediately used the power of his devil fruit to protect the surrounding navy. However, Lingfan's explosion affected the entire sea. The entire sea was turbulent because of Lingfan's detonation, and that tsunami instantly submerged several naval warships. The waves are coming. Attention. Attention. Oh my god. What kind of explosion is this? This guy actually blew himself up. The waves instantly pushed up the raft in the distance, and the raft on which a girl and a giant were riding also rushed forward quickly. Lingfan. Lingfan. You must not die. I know he will come back. Robin. Keep smiling. Then the goddess of luck will favor us. Lingfan will be fine. Tree. Hehe. Even though they were smiling, both of them had tears streaming down their faces. Chapter 20. Warring States Arrangement. O'Hara was already in a miserable state. Lingfan made a desperate move at the last moment and used the Nova explosion of Thunderbolt. Even though Vice Admiral Kuzan tried his best to stop it and protect the surroundings, Lingfan still caused irreversible consequences. At this time, Admiral Zanjiuo was also shocked. After hearing about O'Hara's situation, he couldn't believe it. What did you say? All 10 warships were destroyed by the explosion? What? Is the enemy whitebird? No. Are you kidding me? Zangiuo looked helpless. 10 warships were indeed not worth mentioning for the entire navy, but the problem was that the Demon Slayer order that could destroy everything was actually destroyed. This was a shame for the entire navy. Not to mention Vice Admiral Kuzan and Vice Admiral Sakazuki, both of whom were the best candidates to become admirals. Where is the culprit named Ling Fen? Well, very good. Don't let him run away. Throw him into the bottom of the city. Admiral Zangiuo said, and then hung up the phone. This guy. What a joke. Sengoku didn't know what to say. He took some paper and ate it with his lamb. Sengoku. What happened? Who is so powerful? He was thrown into the bottom of the city? An uncle next to him asked, while eating senbei and drinking tea. Garp. The demon slaying order was launched, but 10 warships were destroyed by one person. Sengoku said. Just 10 warships? So what? Garp didn't think that destroying 10 warships was a big deal. But there are not only 10 warships. There are nearly 10,000 soldiers on the 10 warships. There are also dozens of naval officers. There are also 5 vice admirals. There are also Kuzan and Sakazuki. Sengoku said immediately. You mean, in front of Kuzan, Sakazuki and others, this guy destroyed 10 warships? Garp knew what Sengoku was worried about. It seems that his strength may have reached the level of admiral. Garp said. It's not that this guy chose to self-destruct in the end. He is now only left with one breath and all his limbs are disabled. This guy doesn't seem to be able to use haki, otherwise Kuzan would have been blown to death on the spot. This is a blessing in disguise. Sengoku also sighed. Young men are heroes. This guy works so hard, if only he joined the navy. What a pity. Garp sighed and shook his head. Impossible. This guy is a member of O'Hara. It is impossible for him to be accepted by the navy and the world government. I'm just obeying the orders of the 5 elders by saving his life now. The 5 elders seem to want to talk to this guy. After all, the others have been destroyed. After Zangiuo finished speaking, he went to get busy. At this time, in the endless sea not far from the Grand Line, stood a tower. This tower was known as an iron wall, and no one had been able to escape since its establishment. This is the Navy's underwater prison Impulse City. At this time, the Navy handed over a bloody man to the Warden Magellan. Warden Magellan, this man is called Ling Fan. I will hand him over to you. Admiral Zangiuo has already told you the specific situation. Then we will leave first. After the Navy handed over Ling Fan's body, it left immediately. At this time, Ling Fan was bloody and his whole body was burned. Only one arm was still intact. However, on the wrist of this arm, the divine plan appeared again. Chapter 21. Promoting the resurrection in the city. A man with wings on his back and horns on his head, who looks like the devil Satan, is the director of Impel Down, Magellan, the user of the poison fruit. Next to him at this time, there is also a subordinate, who has a face of Prajna, wears an Egyptian pharaoh style headdress, and his belly is bulging like a demon. He is the warden Hannibal. At this time, Hannibal has not yet become the deputy director. Director. This guy, I don't think it's necessary to manage the prison, right? It's already like this? Come on. Throw him directly into the sea. Hannibal then immediately realized that he had overstepped his bounds. Sorry, I exposed my ambition. I just gave orders for you, the director. However, Magellan ignored Hannibal at this time, but stared straight at Ling Fan in front of him and said, indeed, this guy has become like this, and he is still thrown to the 6th floor. What? The 6th floor? Director, are you sure? Question mark? Hannibal was shocked. Sure. The order was personally issued by General Zangiuo. This guy destroyed 10 warships and was able to tie with the Vice Admiral of the Navy. No way. This guy? Judging from his size, he is only an 8-year-old child. He can tie with the Vice Admiral at such a young age. Hannibal also looked unconvinced. Who knows? We don't need to care so much. Oh no, I have to go to the toilet again. You quickly get him to the bottom floor. After Magellan finished speaking, he immediately went to find the toilet. What an unreliable director. Sooner or later I will be in your position. Hannibal said what he was thinking, and immediately attracted the attention of Magellan. Sorry, I exposed my ambition again. Soon, Ling Fan was thrown into the infinite hell. Ling Fan was different from others. He belonged to a separate room. No one has come to the 6th floor for a long time, and there's a new guy? Haha. This is so interesting. Hey, who are you? How did you get into the infinite hell? Ordinary people won't be locked up here. The one who can be locked up here must be a famous pirate. What about you? Why isn't this guy talking? When this guy came, wasn't he carried in? It seems that he only has one breath left. Oh, it's so boring. I thought we could chat. Ling Fan felt nothing and fell into a deep coma. He didn't know the passage of time or how much time had passed. Suddenly, Ling Fan felt a warmth coming from his arm. It's so warm, my whole body is hot. The cold feeling is dispelled. I remember that I was dead. Didn't the Nova explosion destroy me? It turns out that I was dreaming. Ling Fan slapped himself and found that it didn't hurt at all. No, I'm dreaming? Then I'm not dead. I should wake up. Most people will wake up after they find themselves dreaming, and Ling Fan is no exception. However, after he opened his eyes, he found himself in a strange place. He was in a cell without even a bed, and the environment was extremely harsh. Where is this? Could it be Impel Undersea Prison Propulsion City? Wow. My body hurts so much. Ling Fan realized that his body could hardly move, and his limbs were paralyzed, with only one hand that could still be seen as a hand. Is this the divine plan? Ling Fan was shocked. He didn't expect that the divine plan would not be damaged at all. Great. As long as I transform into Captain America, my injuries will recover quickly. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22, Plan of Infinite Hell. However, before Ling Fan transformed into Captain America, he began to feel a warm sensation on his arm with the sacred plan, which was very similar to the feeling in the dream. So that's it. The sacred plan has been nurturing my body. Although the extent is not large, it is always developing in a good direction. Ling Fan's face also showed a little more joy. At this time, a prisoner had already noticed Ling Fan's awakening. Hey, boy, are you awake? Why did you come in? Tell us about what happened outside. Ling Fan thought for a while and then said, I don't know the details. I was fighting with the Navy and finally fell into a coma. When I woke up, I found myself here. By the way, where is this place? Ah, you don't know where this is? This is the world's largest prison, Impel, the underwater prison, and the Impel Down City. The Impel Down City is actually here. It's so far from the West Sea to here. The Navy actually brought me here on purpose? For what? I don't understand. The man immediately became interested when he heard Ling Fan's battle with the Navy. Boy, you fought with the Navy. You must be a big pirate. Question mark? The reward must be very high. Tell us in detail. How do you fight? I, Ling Fan, thought that Robin must have escaped with Zoro, and I'm not in a hurry now. Besides, I need the divine plan to continue to nurture my body, so I told the truth. I'm not a pirate. The Navy launched the demon slaying order, and I started a battle with Vice Admiral Kuzen. In the end, I blew myself up. 10 warships were destroyed by me, and Kuzen was also seriously injured. I thought I would die, but I didn't. Then I woke up, and I was here. Ling Fan told the truth about what he knew. Are you kidding me again? From your voice, you should be no more than 10 years old, right? You destroyed 10 warships? And you can also seriously injure Vice Admiral Kuzen of the Navy headquarters? Did you just have a dream? You know, this guy is the ability user of the nature fruit, and he will be promoted to Admiral of the Navy soon. How is this possible? Before Ling Fan could explain, other voices rang out. Ha ha ha. Do you believe what a kid says? Why take it so seriously? Let's just laugh at what he said, that's all. Those who can come into the infinite hell are not all powerful people in the sea. Some of them are just very important. I think this kid must have an extraordinary identity, right? However, Ling Fan was shocked. What? This is the 6th underground floor of the Impel Down. Infinite hell. How can I come in? Boy. From your tone, it seems that you already knew about the 6th underground floor. Of course. The 6th floor is full of SEAL legends. Ling Fan immediately recalled the previous battle. Really, if I could use Haki against Kyuzen. With my strength and Haki, I would have killed Kyuzen at that time. As long as I learn Haki, I will definitely be able to beat the natural ability users to a pulp. It's really annoying. Then Ling Fan noticed the strong people on this floor. I rescued them. And then let them teach me, right? Question mark? A very bold plan also emerged in Ling Fan's mind. And at this moment, someone came from the infinite hell, and it was Director Magellan. Chapter 23 Calling the 5 Elders. Huh? Why is Magellan here today? Is it because of this kid? This kid just woke up, and Magellan is here? I guess it's probably because of this kid. Magellan's body is very huge, but because his image is simply not similar in the world of pirates, Ling Fan recognized him at a glance. Is this the user of the poison fruit? Magellan, the director of Impel Down. Even if Captain America fights him, he will probably be poisoned. Captain America is a super soldier, and is naturally immune to ordinary toxins. Ryujo of Germa 66 has the ability to be immune and absorb toxins, but in this world of pirates, can the power of devil fruits defeat science and technology? Ling Fan naturally did not dare to test the law himself and take the initiative to try. Besides, Ling Fan had not recovered yet. At this time, Magellan walked to Ling Fan's cell and asked, "Boy, are you awake?" "Director Magellan?" "The director of Impel Down came to me. What's the matter?" Ling Fan was not so polite when talking to the Navy. The Navy and the world government destroyed O'Hara, forcing Robin and Zoro to run around to avoid the Navy's pursuit, and Ling Fan almost paid the price with his life. Humph. It's nothing. I just want to see how an 8-year-old boy like you can destroy 10 Navy warships and even seriously injure Vice Admiral Kyuzen. I was still skeptical at first, but this time I'm completely sure. I'm afraid the Navy is talking nonsense. Just you? I don't think you can beat Kyuzen, let alone an ordinary Navy soldier, right? Humph. Magellan? Who do I care what you think of me? Leave as soon as possible, and don't disturb my rest. Ling Fan was really rude. Even the legends of the sea in the past did not dare to contradict Magellan like this. After all, Magellan possessed the strength of an admiral. Even the Blackbird pirates were defeated by him in seconds. Sure enough, the strong men on the 6th floor were all shocked. Oh my god. What's wrong with this kid? Question mark. He actually dared to contradict Magellan on the spot. Question mark. Is there anything else he dare not do? Question mark. So, this guy really destroyed 10 warships? Exclamation mark. No way. Then the story about Kyuzen, the master who defeated the Vice Admiral of the Navy headquarters, is also true? Exclamation mark. Oh my god. Exclamation mark. Will another peerless legend appear in the sea? Question mark. This kid, he looks only 10 years old. Exclamation mark. Sorry, I'm 8 years old. Ling Fan added. Brew brew brew. At this moment, the den mushi in the hand of the jailer next to Magellan suddenly rang. Magellan answered the phone, and then Magellan said respectfully, "Yeah. Okay huh. Brat. The 5 elders want to talk to you directly. Keep your mouth shut." Just like that, Magellan pointed the den mushi directly at Ling Fan. 5 elders scary. An 8-year-old child is actually qualified to talk to the 5 elders. Those 5 old guys are the highest authority in the world. Who is this kid? All the pirate legends were very curious about the content of the conversation between Ling Fan and the 5 elders. Ling Fan listened to the call with disdain. Your name is Ling Fan, right? We are the 5 elders. Huh? What's the matter? I'm busy sleeping. Ling Fan also said in a very difficult way. Are you a scholar from O'Hara? Chapter 24. The 5 elders are furious. Are you an O'Hara scholar? Ling Fan asked back. Den mushi is a magical creature that can imitate the appearance and expression of the speaker. The person who was speaking at this time was the Bald Star. I'm asking you, Ling Fan. Are you an O'Hara scholar? Are you a historian? The Bald Star was almost pissed off by Ling Fan. Yes. I'm asking you. Are you a scholar? Are you a historian? This guy must have some problems with his brain. Director Magellan. This guy has some problems with his brain. You have a problem with your brain. This guy. No. This is the 5 elders. The 5 adults with the highest power in the world government. Show some respect. Magellan was almost angry to death. Will you speak properly? Magellan also glared at Ling Fan fiercely. If you keep talking like this, I will poison you to death. After Magellan threatened Ling Fan felt better. Let me ask you another question. Ling Fan, are you a scholar? Can you understand the historical text? And where did the little girl who ran away and Vice Admiral Zoro go? The voice of the 5 elders changed, and the appearance of the Dendenmushi changed to the bearded one. Ling Fan replied, do you really want to know? This is a long story. Go ahead. A long time ago, there was no life on Earth. Hey, brat. You're going too far. Can you make it short? Magellan couldn't stand it anymore. Just answer my question. This is your last chance to live. The 5 elders on the opposite side were also on the verge of anger. Since you are asking sincerely, then I will tell you mercifully. My ambition is to be a scholar, but before I became a scholar, your navy attacked, and the shells were flying everywhere. What is the historical text? I have never heard of it. As for the little girl, of course I know where they went. They and I are good friends. Before they left, they told me where they were going. Where is it? Tell us. We will let you live. This is your last chance. It's just that I can't remember it clearly. Look at me. I'm so seriously injured, and my brain is so dizzy. Let me think about it. What island it is? I'm sorry, I really can't remember it clearly. Ling Fan's acting skills are simply off the charts. The 5 elders were extremely angry. It was the same whether Ling Fan said it or not, but they didn't need to kill Ling Fan again. After all, Ling Fan is like this now. It doesn't matter whether he is killed or not. If he is not killed, it may reveal the information about Robin and Zoro. The 5 elders naturally gave up killing Ling Fan again. And Ling Fan guessed that the 5 elders would let him go, so he dared to be so presumptuous. After all, the main text of history in the blank 100 years are the reverse scale of the world government. Robin is alive, and one day the whole world may know that history. Then Magellan answered the phone, nodded and said to Ling Fan, you should thank the 5 elders. Think of the location of those 2 as soon as possible. We can consider letting you make some requests. Okay, I know. Thank you. Then, I'm going to rest. As a disabled person, Ling Fan immediately ordered him to leave. Magellan was a little embarrassed, but he still left the infinite hell. Damn the 5 elders. They are still going to kill Robin and Zoro. I have to leave here as soon as possible. Chapter 25. Golden Lion Shiki. When Magellan left, the other inmates in the cell also exclaimed in amazement. Big brother, how dare you scold the 5 elders? Magellan, you don't even take it seriously. We really admire you. At the age of 8, you dare to confront the navy and the world government. It makes us, the big pirates, feel guilty. Ling Fan was naturally polite to the pirates and said, all the pirate seniors are legendary figures among pirates. Any one of them, if pulled out, can make the whole sea tremble. I have a plan to escape from prison. I wonder if you are interested? What? Escape from prison? The pirates looked at each other and laughed. Ha 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 ha. Hehe. All kinds of laughter were heard. Kids, in fact, we could have gone out by ourselves a long time ago. It's just that we stay here because we have food and accommodation. The pirates also said with a smile. I see. Ling Fan also nodded as if he understood. So that's how it is. Bullshit. If we could escape from prison, we would have done it long ago. The pirates couldn't help but complain. Did you see the Seaston handcuffs on our hands? Did you see the Seaston chains behind us? Look, even the iron bars of the cell are made of Seaston. We have already used all our strength to talk to you normally. I won't say any more. I'm tired. Boy, although we admire you very much, your idea is very immature. Besides, every level is heavily guarded, and Magellan is not easy to deal with. Boy, I'm afraid we won't have a chance to get out in this life, so you should stay here and accompany us until we grow old. Ling Fan made a sound. I don't want to. Then he carefully observed that several cells were locked tightly by Seaston bars. It was really good for the ability users not to collapse to the ground when facing Seaston. Alas, a legendary pirate is so cowardly. I really admire him. I thought the strong men on the 6th floor were so powerful. I didn't expect them to be cowards. Ling Fan was not afraid of the five elders, so he was not afraid of angering the pirates on the 6th floor. You. Don't be too proud, kid. If you are too arrogant, you will definitely know how powerful Magellan is. Magellan? He is only a Navy admiral. That kind of trash is not even worthy of carrying my shoes. Ling Fan looked very contemptuous. You kid, you can't even beat the Vice Admiral Kuzan. Besides, didn't you say you don't even know how to use domineering? Facing the doubts of the pirates, Ling Fan snorted coldly and said in his heart, Magellan is not a natural type. Then Ling Fan put his eyes on his wrist. Sacred plan. Are you still healing me? Forget it. No matter. As long as I transform into Captain America or the Human Torch. If I don't meet Magellan again, I can rush out anyway. Ling Fan already had a plan in his mind. When he was about to transform, a laugh attracted everyone's attention. Gee. Ha 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 ha. Interesting. Little brother. I'm actually very curious about your plan. If it is really possible to get out, I can also teach you domineering and swordsmanship. I'm willing to believe you, little brother. Ling Fan raised his head and found that it was an ugly uncle with dazzling golden hair. Are you? Question mark. Yes. I'm the legend who is famous in the sea. The golden lion Shiki who is as famous as Whitebird Roger. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.